Ross, we're back in competition, the biggest round two we could possibly see all year, and it's about to go down with the three biggest names at the top of the leaderboard, all encountering round two here in Portugal. Him out front in the world title race with just one stop left to go after Portugal. And John will go straight into the tube section, little double compartment, and he'll squeeze through. So opening ride this morning, John Florence gets his momentum working quickly. Florence's birthday, ended up third in that round one encounter. And here we go, this is Blanco, who also stumbled in that first round, and he gets a nice check in the top corner, little pocket, it's got a taper on it. And he'll bring his exit to opening rides now established for both surfers. And criteria in reference, let's have a look at how he approaches this first crack in the top corner, Ross.
You see the first turn got a little bit cramped for style there. Second turn was nice, so the score will come from that second turn, Gigs, but you know, if you're not careful, it's so easy to get caught behind here. You really have to anticipate what's going to happen before you start even bottom turning. This is John's 3.3. Kind of amazing that he even made it out of that barrel. He got completely engulfed by that thing. It wasn't, you know, wide open at all. So,
and we're going to throw it down to Strider. He's down at water's edge. And Strider, before we go to you, we're picking up on John. So we'll watch this wave number 2 unfold along the lip line. You see slightly foggy conditions here. Strides, how is it down on the water's edge there? This little 517 that's appeared care of John.
Yeah, just taking care of business here. Nothing too fancy. A tricky wave, so pretty good connecting float right there to finish with a closeout re-entry there for John. So you can see John, this is all about starting his heat. This is a laid-back John, just trying to get a couple numbers on the board. No real hiccups, but also nothing too crazy. You know, if John was... It was 3 p.m. and it was free surfing with his buddies videoing on a beach. He probably would have lit that wave up a little bit more, but he's just trying to get some traction here. You know, this is the definition of a warm-up wave early in the morning, Gigs. But pretty clean here. I like that little closeout re-entry there, staying connected to the wave. It's not bad. That's exactly what it is, a 5.17.
A 407 to add it to his roofline float on wave 2.
Just a tricky little wave here. So John, again, playing cleanup, just trying to find a little corner there to get a score on the board. 2 little snaps equals 4 points. You can see that wave. There's the tide. It has, you know, it's starting to turn around. So you'll see a lot of these waves kind of split in half. You know, the water doesn't quite know where to go yet. Nice opening carve there from John. And how's that little nuance right there on that tail slide? He got traction, so you know, he was making sure his board stayed planted. But he added just a little bit of flavor there with that tail slide and kind of play a little bit of chess.
Overview of the lineup here at Super Tubo sees our wild card here. Blanco will come off the bottom. Lines it up with the roof float. Now that's a tight little snap, so this is going to be a useful wave too. He's brought a nice little delivery there prior to that, just holding that one score. But John's found the same part of the lineup, and John will go to the air. And will he ride out? He will. So nice little exchange here with 8:45 on the clock.
Finish that wave. You can see just getting the pace right there. So smart from Miguel. Now he's got some open wall and goes for a float. So pretty agile there, and just enough room to do a little snap and then finish the wave off. So all, you know, pretty nice surfing, but he was never able to really go for it. And this is the exact opposite. You know, a pretty tricky section for John, and he said instead of just kind of connecting the dots, I'm going to go big.
Set John Florence in the world title race here, but John holds priority, and he'll go into the tube stance here, and he's going to find a line through the barrel as only John can. He'll manufacture scores, and John will just click it out at the end. It'll be a lackluster launch above the lip, and now let's see what the second wave of the set does. Blanco up into the top corner, more energized than the previous one, but it's only the one opportunity. It's shut down and crumbly sections to it. Let's have a look at this clean one.
Very natural response too. I don't think John was necessarily looking for the barrel. He just took off, kind of faded, and said, okay, I'll pull in. But he really wanted that air to finish that wave to impress the judges, but it was a weird section, Gigs. You know, it was kind of going away from him. Then it had that little trough that's been kind of messing with these guys the last few days. He wanted it right there. I think he had one section where maybe he could have lifted his board up onto the ceiling and gone for a float, and just a little too early. So going for just a kind of a pop ollie, and there's that weird little trough. There's no room to fit that board in there.
Now, so we'll close this off, and John on screen will paddle for this outside of the heat time. But it won't matter. He's got the win, and the all-important win, because he could not afford a 25th place stumble here.